two, three.
Cause I'ma dig deep, I'ma stand tall. I got the grit of the underdog. I'm stronger than you think, I can do this on my own. There's a difference between loneliness and doing this alone.
Hello! Welcome to the DC Music Rocks podcast presented by Capital Group Collective, elevating the music of the DMV to the world stage one conversation at a time. Here we will highlight the wildly talented DMV musicians that we believe are paving the way in the Washington metropolitan area through diversity of genre, gender, identity, and community. I'm your host, Ting, and today we have the awesome Alexia with us. Um, Alexia Christian is a pop rock vocalist and musician from Washington, D.C. Listen, imagine, melt into Alexia's rock messages of single life, reality, love, loss, and dreams. Alexia embraced a captivating love for music, singing in numerous choirs, then quickly ascended to private voice instruction. A graduate of Shippensburg University and sustaining member of Madrigal Singers, Alexia gained momentum and versatility performing in statewide venues. All the while, she arduously trained and performed as a rock singer. What sets Alexia apart is her strong, versatile voice, work ethic, and nothing to lose attitude. Welcome, Alexia!
Thank you so much, Ting, for having me tonight.
Of course! So can you tell me a little bit about how you got into music?
Sure. Well, my parents put me in private vocal lessons when I was very young, and I just took a strong liking to that so much, and I loved performing ever since I was really young. And then once I got to high school, I was in rock and roll revival, and I got so much performing experience from that and just really took a huge liking to rock music.
Oh, wow. So you wanted to be a rock star since you were a little kid.
Yeah.
I wanted to be one too, but I didn't really know what rock was because I was in China and rock is an American thing. But I wanted to like kind of like have that like fame and like have that stage presence, have all those fans. So that's awesome. What would you say is your music style? We kind of talked a little bit about it in bio, but from your own words.
Yeah, it's definitely been primarily rock and roll, but I've kind of segued into pop as I've grown older, and I'm going to be recording some new pop songs this year and releasing some singles. So I wasn't too into pop in the earlier years, but now I really like it, and it's cool.
What do you like about pop?
It's just really fun and has so much energy and dance pop. Like I really like Ava Max and Dua Lipa, just their attitude.
Yes.
It's really fun.
I saw some of your covers of their songs on Instagram.
Yeah, Kings and Queens and Great
Yes.
Those are my faves.
Yeah, I love pop too. I feel like it's very versatile. I feel like you can do a lot with pop. So that's what I love about it. So what do you want the audience to gain from your music? Like, what are you trying to communicate to them?
Sure. Well, I would love for them to just connect to my messages that I convey with my songs. With my new album for singles only, it goes out to all the singles out there because it talks about my life being single and the struggles of that and the happiness of that too, and gaining a lot of strength by being single. But it also connects with people who are not single as well, because there are a couple tracks like Valentine and Meet Me in Paris that are a little more soft and romantic. And some of my friends who aren't single really liked those as well. So I hope it can really connect with just everyone in that regard.
Well, I guess the single mindset isn't just whether or not you're in a relationship. It's like there are people that are in a relationship, but they're like independently codependent. They have days when they want to just like do their own thing and they want to just like, be by themselves. But then there's other days when they want to be all cuddled up and all lovey-dovey. So I think like that's like a mindset too. It's not just like the relationship status.
Exactly.
Yeah, I listened to those songs that you mentioned. Maybe this will be a segue into like songwriting. Like what inspired you to write those songs?
Well, those two in particular were kind of written from my imagination. They didn't exactly happen, especially Meet Me in Paris. I've never been to Paris, but I've always wanted to go.
Yeah,
So I started reading a book about Paris and it just really inspired me. And then it would be so cool if I met someone when I was there. So that was
right.
from imagination, but usually on a day to day basis, I write from personal experiences.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean Paris is a romantic place, you know. It's like
Yeah.
people think about love when they're in Paris, so that makes sense. Um so what about other songs on the track?
Well, the first song, Second Thoughts, is really fun. It's very spunky and sassy, and there's just
Yeah.
a lot of attitude and edge. It's very rock and roll. It kind of has a little Beatles essence to it and classic rock, but it's modern with my own spin, kind of a
Mhm.
contemporary feel to it. And it's just like the title, like you're having second thoughts about somebody,
Yeah.
and it's just fun. It kind of talks about that. And I also say, like, you're texting too many times and you're driving me out of my mind. Like,
It's
just like,
very relatable.
yeah, because that happens every time. Like that's so crazy when people do that.
Yeah, like having second thoughts about somebody that you really like, you know. It's like, is this gonna work or not? But yeah, I mean, those are all really fun songs and they're all very different. I feel like you have a very kind of retro sound. Like it reminds me of like the 80s, like you know, like it brings me back to like another decade for some reason.
Oh, that's a cool perspective.
Yeah, like just I think maybe from your songwriting, your voice, just the whole vibe. As a listener, that's kind of how I felt when I was listening to it. So yeah. So you write your own music,
Yes, I do.
lyrics, melodies, um, and then you collaborate with like other instrumentalists and producers to finish the songs.
Yes, I do.
That's kind of how I do it too. So how has your music career evolved? Because we kind of talked about you loved rock from the beginning, and then you kind of transitioned to pop. You can kind of maybe talk about like how that transition and also where it's going in the future too.
Right. Yeah, it's really evolved throughout the years. I started performing solo 8 years ago,
Mm,
and I really loved that so much. And then I transitioned to being in a band for 2 years,
wow.
and that was really fun. So I got to kind of feel out like both sides of being on my own and being in a band. And now I'm back to being solo again, and I really like that. It brings a lot of strength. And I've also just been in rock so many years, but now I'm transitioning into pop, and
Hmm.
I really like that so much because I think audiences really delve into pop a lot more. It's just really what people kind of want these days,
Hmm.
it seems like. So that's
Yeah.
kind of why I've gone into that a little bit, but still staying true to myself as well.
Yeah. So in the future, it will be more solo pop kind of music.
Yeah, definitely. And I always like bringing in guitarists into the studio or drummers. And I just love collaborating with other musicians. It's super fun in this area. There are a lot of great people out there.
Oh yeah, same. I love. There's so many talented musicians here. Um, so what was the decision that like sparked the decision to, you know, go from solo to a band and then band back to a solo?
Sure. Yeah, I've always wanted to be in a band, especially when I was in high school, being in rock and roll revival and just collaborating with so many musicians in those shows.
Uh huh.
And that just really inspired me so much. And I was like, wow, I really want to perform with other people and get that energy off of people, especially on stage. You can just connect to people so well and just have that musical chemistry.
Yeah.
That's what really drives me a lot. Um, so it was really cool to experience that. And I definitely hope to maybe be in another band someday.
Okay, so it's not like set in stone that you'll be just solo.
Right. Yeah. I'm just kind of like open to whatever maybe works out in the future.
Awesome. So, what other music talents do you have? Just curious.
Sure. Yeah. I'm also a music teacher during the day at two private music schools. And I teach private guitar, vocal, and piano lessons
Oh my
to,
gosh.
yeah, to children up to adults. So it's
What schools?
Gigs Academy in Kensington.
Okay.
And
What is that like? I mean, you're helping, I guess, beginning musicians kind of explore different instruments or their voice.
it's a real fun process because I can just share my love for music and tell them that I write and perform and record and all that. And they're just, some of the kids are like, oh, wow, that's awesome. They're so cute. And it's great to be an inspiration in their lives for sure.
Yeah, they're probably like, I want to grow up to be like you, you know?
Yeah, it's cute.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sure it takes a lot of patience, and you have to really love it to be able to teach it to other people.
Definitely.
Yeah, because if it's just a job, then, you know, I'm sure like the kids, because like, sorry, you said, how old are they up till?
Like 5 to 50s. It's just
Oh, okay.
a
So it's
broad
everybody.
range. Yeah, everybody.
Okay. So you have to be a personable, human to be able to connect and teach this wide range of people, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to connect with everyone, just get on their level.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so, you're in the DMV area. What do you think makes this city so awesome? I guess in terms of like the music scene, the musicians.
Oh gosh, there are so many great things about the DMV area. For one, the venues are so much fun. Like before COVID, they're
Right.
really
Oh,
great one. Like of course, like DC, you could perform there, and I always performed at this place called the Dive Bar, like north of DuPont, and so many
nice.
musicians like went there and they just congregated there and they would have open mics. We would meet each other and you could collab, you could jam literally on stage, and people would play there every night. It was its own little like mini Nashville, it seemed like.
Oh, wow. I've never been. That's awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately they closed, but it
Mm.
was just so much fun prior to all this. And there are just so many great venues, people, guitarists especially. Like there are a lot of great lead guitarists in this area, and that's
Yeah, agreed.
a great thing to find and collab.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, people don't think of the DMV area or DC in particular as like a music city, People think of course, like politics comes first and then like, all these like official government jobs and such, policies and such, but they don't think about like creativity and music. And I've heard so many musicians talk about like there's so many different types of music styles here. You can go to one bar or one lounge to listen to one type of music, and then you can go to the other one and it's like totally different types of music. Do you agree with that?
I do, yeah. It's got a great diversity.
Yeah, diversity, exactly. There's like people from all over the world. Like myself, I'm bringing music influences from like China and like, a little bit of Latin flavors, and just I feel like it's a big melting pot of musicians here.
That is awesome, and we always need that for sure.
Yeah. So this is kind of for me because I'm also a fashionista here, and I was just curious if you think fashion is an important part of your kind of musician persona.
I love that question. That's great. Also fashionista myself. I think
Yay.
I think it is very important. because you don't want to just kind of show up in whatever. I think it's important to kind of develop your own clothing style when you do album shoots and when you perform live, and you want to just look very polished, like
Right.
no matter what, you know. And I
Like you
love
put thought into it.
exactly, yeah, and that's so important. You don't want to just show up in like sweatpants or yoga pants or whatever, like something cool, like an edgy jacket or, you know, pants with like lace on the sides or just like fun stuff that is appealing to the eye.
Yeah, because I mean, when you perform, especially live, or I guess Zoom or virtually too, people are not just like looking at or listening to your music. They're looking at you, they're looking at your expressions, they're looking at like your appearance, how you present yourself too. So I agree, I think fashion is very important. Maybe some people try to keep it minimalist, but that is still a statement, that they thought about it, they decide to be minimalist. And then there's other people that do a little extra, which I'm totally that. And and I see that you're wearing like a little cold shoulder top. You got a little choker action going, which I have as well.
Oh, that's
Um,
cute.
I
Yeah.
love it. So like how can you describe like your, I guess, music fashion style to people?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I feel like I wear something different all the time. I have just so many different looks and I love to rock everything. Like one day I'll be in a leather jacket and ripped jeans and just really rock it out. But another day I'll be in like a pink Barbie dress. Like,
Same.
so it just, I love to keep it kind of diversified. So with like a little bit of everything, sometimes I like blazer jackets with
Mm-hmm.
jeans to kind of tone it down,
Right.
or like really fancy, like sparkly dresses and heels, heeled boots, white boots to just rock it up.
Yes. I guess it depends on your mood of the day. And also maybe like I think about what I'm performing. Like what song, like what vibe am I going for? Like if I'm performing like a maybe rap hip hop song, like I'll look cooler, I want to look maybe a little bit more urban, like a little bit more streetwear type, with like leather jacket, a little bit more like rough. But then if I'm performing like a love ballad or something, I think of maybe like a dress, maybe a little girlier, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So another question I have for you is what are some social causes that you care about?
That's a great question. I care about a lot of social causes that are especially going on today.
Mm. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's been a rough start to the year as we have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, there's so many, I feel like there's so many issues that societal issues that as musicians sometimes we feel like we have an obligation to, write about and sing about and like perform about.
Mhm.
So I mean, I think we're in a unique position too to I guess give voice to the voiceless, right? Um, so that's awesome. Okay, well, so how can the audience find you and your music?
Oh my gosh, so many platforms. You can find me on iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. You can search Alexia Christian, especially my new album for singles only. It's up on iTunes and Spotify.
Awesome. And what are, I guess, what's coming in the new year? Like what new music do you have?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm literally in the recording studio right now. I just started a new song a couple weeks ago. So I'll be recording and releasing a couple new pop singles, and that'll hopefully be released in March
Okay, that's awesome. When you say studio, are you doing it virtually? Like, are you recording in the actual studio?
in the actual studio.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
It's at Hit and Run Recording Studio in Durwood, and a lot of DMV musicians go there, and it's an awesome studio. The producer, Steve Carr, he's incredible. He's been in the business for over 40 years, and we've been recording together for 6 years, and he just has like top of the line production skills.
That's awesome. I've never heard of that, like a hit and run studio.
Yeah, Hit and Run.
Is that the name of it or it's just like the
Yeah.
style? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's the name, but there's nothing bad to it. It's just called Hit and Run Recording Studio.
Well, no, because when you said that, I was imagining like the musician comes in, they record, and then they just run out or something. Like, I don't know.
You can interpret it that way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for joining us, Alexia.
Thank you so much, Ting, for having me tonight.
Of course. And again, this is CGC Presents DC Music Rocks, and I'm your host, Ting Lin. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you.